Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Part 1. The Power in Small Things. In a world where we're constantly told that wealth requires hustle, connections, and complex strategies, it's easy to overlook the quiet, subtle forces that truly shape our lives. We chase the big, the loud, and the fast, while forgetting that real power often resides in the smallest gestures, the most ordinary objects. Take a glass of water, for example. Just clear water in a simple cup. Nothing fancy. Nothing rare. But in the eyes of ancient masters, both in Feng Shui and Buddhist tradition, that glass becomes a sacred vessel the moment you fill it with intention. What if I told you that your next chapter of abundance doesn't require a new job, a perfect investment, or an expensive object from a spiritual shop? What if all it takes is one sincere moment with a glass, a pinch of salt, and a single leaf? You might be skeptical, and that's perfectly normal. But allow yourself to stay with me for a few minutes. Because what I'm about to share isn't superstition. It's not magic. It's energetic design. A practice that has quietly been passed from teacher to student, home to home, not to grant wealth like a genie, but to clear the pathways where wealth is already trying to flow. This isn't about wishing. It's about realignment. So if you've ever felt like you work hard but never seem to get ahead, or if opportunities come but slip through your fingers, this ritual may open something deeper than money. It may open the field around you. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment the energy starts shifting. Let's begin. Part 2. What Feng Shui really is, beyond objects and symbols. When most people hear the word Feng Shui, they think of lucky charms, dragons, or rearranging furniture to get rich. But that's a surface-level misunderstanding. True Feng Shui is not a superstition. It's an ancient art of aligning your space with the unseen flow of energy that runs through all things. In Buddhism, we say that everything is impermanent, interconnected, and influenced by karmic causes and conditions. Feng Shui applies this same principle to the physical environment. Just as your thoughts and actions shape your destiny, the energy flow of your home subtly shapes your emotional state, your focus, and even your financial outcomes. Think of your living space as an energetic ecosystem. Each room, each corner, each object either contributes to the flow, or quietly blocks it. Wealth isn't just a matter of effort or timing. It's also about alignment. You can work 80 hours a week, but if your energetic field is full of stagnation, anxiety, or imbalance, money may arrive. But it won't stay. It slips away like water from an open hand. That's where Feng Shui comes in, not to force wealth to appear, but to clear the channels where wealth can naturally flow. And that's why rituals like the one I'm about to guide you through matter. Not because the salt, or the bay leaf, or the water itself has magical powers. They don't. What gives them power is your attention, your clarity of purpose. In Buddhist language, we'd say the objects are conditioned forms. They have no fixed essence. But when used mindfully, they become bridges, connecting your intention to the wider field of energy you live within. In fact, I often tell my students, Feng Shui isn't about placing lucky coins in the right corner, it's about placing your awareness in the right moment. Because when you do, even the most ordinary object, a cup, a leaf, can become a catalyst for change. So before we move forward with the ritual, I invite you to let go of the idea that this is a spell or a trick. It's none of that. It's a dialogue between you and the space you live in, between your inner world and the outer flow of life. And if you approach it with mindfulness, intention, and respect, the result won't just be more money. It will be deeper clarity, and the kind of peace that naturally attracts abundance without struggle. Part 3. The three elements: salt, water, and bay leaf, symbols, not spells. If you walked into a quiet room and saw a single glass of water with a bay leaf floating gently on top, and salt swirling at the bottom, you might not think much of it. But in the language of energy, of Feng Shui and mindfulness, that simple setup is more than just decoration. It's a circuit. A quiet, deliberate, living arrangement of forces that have the power to shift what flows through your home and through your life. Let's look deeper at the three elements of this ritual: salt, water, and bay leaf, not as objects of magic, but as spiritual metaphors and energetic tools. Their power doesn't come from superstition. It comes from how they interact with your space, your energy, and most importantly, your intention. Salt, the dissolver of old energy. Salt has long held sacred meaning across cultures. In ancient times, it was considered more valuable than gold. Roman soldiers were paid in salt, thus the word salary. In spiritual rituals, both East and West, salt was used to purify, protect, and cleanse. In Feng Shui, salt represents a neutralizing force. It doesn't create energy, but it clears what's blocking it. It absorbs what doesn't serve. If your home has lingering energy, stress, anxiety, financial tension, salt helps absorb and settle it. But that's only part of the story. On a deeper level, salt represents the part of you that's ready to release. Think of your financial life. How much of it is burdened by fear? By past experiences? By a belief you inherited, maybe from family, that money is always hard to come by? Salt dissolves more than bad vibes. It softens the crust that forms around old thinking. In Buddhist thought, we call this letting go of the hindrances: greed, fear, doubt. Salt becomes the symbolic act of loosening their grip. A pinch dropped into water is not just salt, it's the first step in saying, I no longer choose scarcity as my guide. 2. Water, the conductor of intention. Water is life. It nourishes, cleanses, and moves. In Feng Shui, water is associated directly with wealth. Not metaphorically, energetically. The Chinese character for wealth even includes the water radical. Why? Because money, like water, flows. It requires movement, receptivity, and rhythm. It cannot be forced, but it can be guided. In this ritual, water is the medium. It's what carries the salt's clearing power and the bay leaf's directional energy. Without water, those forces remain inert. But here's the deeper truth. Water doesn't just carry energy, it reflects it. That's why when you pour the water into the glass, it must be done mindfully. Slowly. Gently. Imagine, as you pour, that you're channeling not just liquid, but light, a stream of abundance entering your field, calmly, steadily. In Buddhist teachings, water is likened to the mind. When still, it reflects clearly. When agitated, it distorts. So treat this water not as a thing, but as your own consciousness. Your financial life is reflected in it. If you want money to flow toward you, your mind must first mirror that flow, calm, open, focused. In this way, water is the middle path between letting go and receiving. It is both movement and stillness. It is the channel that connects your inner vision to the outer world. 3. Bay leaf, the amplifier of intention. A single bay leaf seems fragile, just a dry, green leaf you'd expect in a soup. But in energetic practice, its symbolism is sharp and focused. In Roman tradition, bay leaves crown the heads of victors. They were the emblem of achievement, wisdom, and power. In Feng Shui, Bay leaf carries protective and amplifying qualities. It's set to seal intention, like a lid placed firmly on the top of your energetic message to the universe. But here's the key. The bay leaf only works when it holds a clear, precise desire. It's not enough to say, "I want more money." That's vague. That's weak. Energy responds to clarity. When you hold the bay leaf in your hand, you're not holding a charm, you're holding a contract. A sacred one. A leaf that will float in the glass, absorbing your vibration, and transmitting it into the field around you. Be specific. Think, "I allow myself to receive an additional $5,000 this month through peaceful, joyful opportunities." Or "I am ready to clear my debt and open space for a more stable life." Your bay leaf is your arrow. It gives direction to your flow. Without it, your water may swirl endlessly. With it, your intention travels further, faster, and with focus. 4. The energetic circuit, why they must work together. Now imagine each of these elements as part of a spiritual machine. Salt clears the blockage. Water conducts the current. Bay leaf aims the energy. If you use only salt, you're purifying without movement. If you use only water, you're moving without clarity. If you use only the bay leaf, you're setting intention without release or flow. But together, they form an energetic triangle, each supporting the other like breath, body, and mind in meditation. In Buddhism, we speak of sila, samadhi, and panna, morality, concentration, wisdom. You need all three to make real progress. The same is true here. Each part of the ritual completes the circuit. And when the circuit is complete, you don't need to wish for abundance anymore. You become aligned with it. You are the circuit. It's important to remember, the items don't do the work. You do. These three elements are mirrors. They reflect the readiness within you to shift. To clear what no longer serves. To move with flow. To focus your will. A glass of water. A pinch of salt. A single bay leaf. So small. But when used with awareness, they become symbols of a deeper truth. You don't need to chase wealth. You need only to remove what's blocking it, and allow what's meant for you to arrive. Part 4. Step-by-step ritual plus the hidden layers of each action. This ritual may seem simple on the surface, but when performed with true awareness, each step becomes a powerful message you send into the universe. You're not just arranging salt, water, and a leaf. You're rearranging your energy field to align with the flow of abundance. Let's walk through this, step by step, not just the what to do, but the deeper why. Step 1. Clean and clear the space, the energetic invitation. Before anything else, choose a quiet, uncluttered space. This could be a small table near a window, a meditation corner, or any place in your home that feels calm. In Feng Shui, energy doesn't settle in chaos. Clutter blocks clarity. When you clean a space, you're not just tidying up, you're inviting energy in. Imagine you're preparing a sacred room for a guest, prosperity. Even a small, well-tended space carries more power than a large but neglected one. Step 2. Light a white candle or incense, activate presence. Once the space is ready, light a white candle. If you don't have one, gently burn sandalwood, lemongrass, or cinnamon incense. Why this step? Fire activates. Scent purifies. Both signal presence. You're saying to the universe, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm awake. As the flame flickers or the scent fills the room, take 3 deep breaths. Let go of the noise of the day. Feel yourself arriving. This isn't just about preparing the space, it's about preparing you. Step 3. Pour the water, flow with intention. Now, take a clear, clean glass and pour in filtered water. As you pour, slow down. Don't rush. Imagine the water isn't just liquid, it's flowing light. A stream of universal energy entering your space. Say softly, or silently, "This water brings clarity, calm, and abundance into my life." Water, in Feng Shui, represents wealth. But only when it moves. Here, it begins to carry your intention. Step 4. Add the salt, dissolve the blockage. Take a pinch of pure white salt and sprinkle it into the glass. Watch it begin to dissolve. Salt doesn't just season, it purifies. In this ritual, it dissolves stagnant energy. It breaks apart old thoughts, fears, and energetic knots that keep wealth from staying. Say, "All blocks to prosperity are dissolving now. I am open." Let that moment be one of release. Step 5. Hold the bay leaf, set the direction. Now, take a whole, unbroken bay leaf. Hold it gently at eye level. Close your eyes. Think of one specific financial intention. Not vague. Be clear, an amount, a goal, a need. Visualize it as if it has already arrived. Then say, "I welcome your clear goal into my life with ease and grace." This is your message. The bay leaf becomes your messenger. Step 6. Place the bay leaf in the water, seal the intention. Slowly, place the bay leaf into the water. Let it float. This act symbolizes surrender, not giving up, but trusting the flow. You've clarified your desire. Now you place it into movement. At this point, your cup holds a living energetic pattern: purification, salt, flow, water, direction, leaf. The circuit is complete. Step 7. Placement, anchor the energy. Place the glass in the southeast corner of your home, traditionally the wealth corner in Feng Shui. Can't find that direction? Choose a quiet place with little foot traffic. Somewhere peaceful, where the energy won't be disturbed. Leave it overnight. Let the energy settle, integrate, and expand into the space. Step 8. Morning release, close the cycle. In the morning, take the glass outside to a tree or a garden with living greenery. Gently pour the water at the base of the tree. This step is vital. It's your energetic "thank you." You've received, and now you return, completing the cycle of giving and receiving. Say softly, "May this flow return through growth, peace, and abundance." It's not about discarding the water. It's about rejoining the rhythm of nature. Final thought, it's the energy behind the action that works. Remember, the ritual itself is not the magic. You are. Your attention. Your clarity. Your willingness to show up with presence. That's what transforms this cup into a vessel of abundance. Do each step with heart, and the flow will find its way back to you. Part 5. Real stories, when energy shifted and so did life. You don't need to believe in rituals for them to work. You just need to be open to the possibility that energy, when moved with intention, can shift the course of your life in subtle but powerful ways. Let me share 2 real stories from people who discovered this for themselves. Story 1. Claire, the overwhelmed caregiver. Claire was a full-time nurse and part-time caregiver to her aging mother. Her days were packed with appointments, medications, and fatigue. Financially, she wasn't desperate, but money always felt like it was slipping away faster than it came in. When she heard about this ritual from a friend, she rolled her eyes. "A glass of water with a leaf? I work overtime and still can't save, how could this possibly help?" But one quiet Sunday evening, after putting her mother to bed, she decided to try it. She followed every step, cleared a small space in her bedroom, lit a tea light candle, and performed the ritual in silence. Her intention was simple: I want space, for rest, and for the money I earn to stay with me. 3 days later, She received a surprise email from a nonprofit she'd volunteered for years ago. They offered her a part-time administrative role, fully remote, with better pay and fewer hours. "I didn't ask for this," she said. "But I think I finally made space to receive it." Story 2. Marcus, the burnt-out entrepreneur. Marcus had launched 2 startups, and watched both collapse. He wasn't broke, but emotionally, he felt emptied out. "It wasn't just the failure," he told me, "it was the silence after. The phone stopped ringing. It felt like the world moved on without me." He came across the ritual while scrolling through a late-night video. It caught his attention not because of the objects, but because of one line: "When energy is blocked, effort alone won't save you." He didn't light a fancy candle or use exotic incense. He just sat down at his desk, followed the steps, and spoke one sentence aloud: "I'm ready for flow again." Within a week, a former colleague reached out with a collaborative idea. Then an investor, who had previously turned him down, called, not knowing Marcus was even seeking funding again. Marcus said, "It's not like the ritual handed me success. But something softened. And the world started responding." Sometimes, it's not the ritual that changes your life. It's the shift it causes in you, that moment where you go from closed and clenched to open, steady, and aligned. And when that happens, opportunities don't need to be chased. They return, like water to a riverbed that's finally been cleared. Part 6. The role of gratitude, why it's the secret ingredient. You've prepared the space. You've set the intention. You've performed the ritual with care. But there's one more ingredient, one that's invisible yet absolutely essential. Gratitude. In both Buddhist and Feng Shui philosophy, gratitude isn't something you express after you've received something. It's something you offer before. It is a spiritual frequency, a signal that you are already living in the vibration of abundance, not lack. Think of it this way: if you plant a seed but constantly complain that nothing is growing, you block the very life that's trying to rise. But if you water the soil, tend the space, and say, "Thank you," even before the sprout appears, you are creating conditions where growth becomes inevitable. That's exactly what gratitude does. It opens the channel. It says, "I am ready to receive. And I already see the blessing in motion." Many people perform the ritual and then fall back into frustration. They watch the cup. They wait. They say, "Why hasn't anything changed yet?" But that very mindset, impatience, doubt, scarcity, becomes an energetic wall. It quietly pushes abundance away. Gratitude tears that wall down. It's the inner gesture that says, "Even before the money arrives, I already feel blessed." And that energy is magnetic. In Feng Shui terms, a grateful heart raises the vibration of your space. It turns your home into a vessel that wealth enjoys staying in, not just visiting. A simple way to cultivate this is through a gratitude journal. Each evening, write down 3 things you appreciated that day. They don't have to be dramatic, just real. A good meal. A moment of silence. A parking spot you didn't expect. These small acknowledgments become energetic anchors. They remind the universe that you are not waiting to be filled, you are already overflowing. In Buddhism, we call this santati, contentment. Not passive acceptance, but joyful sufficiency. It's the ground from which true wealth grows, not just financially, but spiritually and emotionally. So yes, do the ritual. Follow the steps. But when you wake up tomorrow morning, don't just ask, "Has anything changed?" Instead, ask, "What can I be thankful for, right now?" That shift in question is the moment the energy turns. Part 7. Final reflection. You are the ritual. By now, you've seen how something as simple as a glass of water, a pinch of salt, and a bay leaf can become a spiritual circuit for abundance. But here's the deeper truth, one that often gets lost in rituals and techniques. You are the ritual. The objects you use are only mirrors. They reflect back the energy, the mindset, and the intention you bring into the moment. The cup may hold water, but you hold the power to shift energy. When you light the candle, it's your awareness that's igniting. When you drop the salt, it's your willingness to release. When you speak your intention into the bay leaf, it's your voice anchoring a vision for the future. And when you place the cup in a quiet corner of your home, you are not hoping for magic, you are affirming that this space, this moment, and this version of you is worthy of wealth. In Buddhist practice, we say, the mind precedes all things. In other words, what you think, you become. What you dwell on, you attract. When your space and your state of mind are aligned, even the smallest rituals carry tremendous power. That's why this ritual is not about manipulating the universe. It's about aligning with it. You are not asking money to visit you. You are creating an environment, within and without, where money wants to stay. That's a radical shift. It means wealth is no longer something out there that you must chase. It's something you welcome, by the way you live, the way you think, the way you treat your space, and the way you speak to your own future. And just like the ritual ends with giving the water back to the earth, so too does the journey of abundance come full circle. You receive. You share. You plant. You grow. You don't need to become someone else to attract prosperity. You simply need to return to who you truly are, calm, clear, aligned, and open. So the next time you hold a glass of water in your hand, don't just see a cup. See a mirror. See a gateway. See a moment of stillness where your energy begins to shift, and the world quietly shifts with it. Because in the end, you are not performing the ritual. You are becoming it. Part 8. Open the gate, with clarity, not desperation. If you've made it this far, maybe something in you is already shifting. Maybe it's not just about money. Maybe it's about remembering that you're allowed to open the gate, without guilt, without fear, and without begging. This ritual isn't about chasing luck. It's about stepping into alignment with a rhythm that's already flowing all around you. So if it feels right, give it a try. But don't do it because you're desperate for change. Do it because you're ready to receive with clarity. Do it as an act of presence. And if this message touched something inside you, leave a comment below. Let the first words of your intention take shape in the world. Write, I am open. I am ready. Abundance flows to me with ease. Because the moment you write it, you begin to live it. And that's where the real ritual begins. If this message resonated with you, even in a small, quiet way, please consider giving this video a like. It helps this energy reach others who may be silently searching for the same shift. And if you'd like to continue walking this path with us, exploring rituals, spiritual insight, and practical wisdom rooted in Feng Shui and Buddhist philosophy, don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma. Tap the notification bell so that when the time is right, when your heart is ready, the next teaching will gently find its way to you.